core of new rock and metal.
We have got the fantastic Damon of Virtue. We're finally doing this. I'm so glad that we've actually got a video going as well. Promise I'll get this one put out. But yeah, how are you doing? It's literally, I mean, I was just thinking about it. Since we've caught up, you've signed to a Rising Empire, which is huge for the band, and you've also had a new president and everything else that's been crazy in the world. So, I mean, let's not talk about that other thing. But yeah, I mean, how have you been?
Oh man, it's been a roller coaster, man. I would say
Yeah.
personally doing pretty well. It's Sunday, so getting a chance to relax a little bit. It's
Hmm.
raining, but hey, I'll take that versus having snow or all of the winter weather that we've had so far. And yeah, like you said, as far as like the whole like since the last time we talked, a lot has gone on. Our presidential situation is definitely not one that at least I'm proud of. I was gonna
Oh
say
man,
on your end, I was gonna say your the country is also not
we're on the floor, mate. Honestly, absolutely on the floor. But I mean,
so,
oh, it's been crazy. We talked about presidential situation last time, but I mean, things have just been crazy over there in general,
mhm.
from what I can see. Anyway, in terms of music, you guys have been putting out some great tunes. And I'm looking forward to hopefully more. Fingers crossed. You've got stuff in the background. I'm hoping. Anyway, I won't
Absolutely.
touch you on that. But what's been your biggest inspiration for your music over the last few years?
Uh,
Let's start off
Not
with
to
that.
be, I guess, cliche, but we like everyone else in the world, you go through a global crisis. You go through something that is probably a once in a lifetime historic, event or experience or thing, whatever you want to, quantify it as.
Mm,
But a lot of it comes from there. It's being home. It's having the thing that, you know, we love so dearly and we work so hard for. It's in some
yeah.
ways taken away from us, like the ability to travel, the ability to play shows, in our hometown of Lansing, Michigan,
Mhm.
you know, all of our venues basically closed down during that time. So there's no real place for like hard rock, metalcore bands to even play. You have to travel further
Mm,
distances now if that's the case. Um, but yeah, some of that, then it's just a matter of, people growing up. We're all human beings, so we have lives. And the older you get in some weird ways, the harder certain things can get.
yep.
You're more privy to what is going on in the world. You're paying more attention, whether it's, politically, whether it's, people starting families or wanting to just pursue other interests that are now competing with
Mhm.
the one that had all of your focus and attention before. It's like it's just in some ways it's just life, man. There's a lot of stuff going on, but we were able to kind of harness that and bring it back full circle. And I would say the one good thing that we took out of COVID and out of the break that we like the longer break that we had, it gave us a chance to kind of reinvent the wheel for ourselves. It's like, you know, what we may have thought was working before, which probably was,
Mhm.
we could now go back and say, well, you know what, we missed this, or this opportunity came by, we weren't able to fully capitalize on it just because we, maybe were ignorant to some things. And then musically, it's called, you know, if this is going to be, not going to say it's like the last shot or anything else, but it's called you don't know what's going to happen. So in this case, it's called just do almost whatever you want. Just go balls to the wall
Mhm.
and see what comes out of it. And not only do I think that, we as human beings, like we as the band, as friends, as brothers, as whatever you want to call us, it's like we're stronger and better because of it. And then musically, I think we've hit a stride that, we wouldn't have been able to hit
Yeah.
had we not been, kind of forced to take that break. So I feel like we're in a pretty good place, man. I feel like we're in a pretty good
Yeah.
place.
I mean, I was just looking who your music was you worked with Carson Slovak and Grant McFarland, like producers of some pretty big bands, mixed and mastered by Dan Braunstein, Spirit Box, Dayseeker Volumes, just to say the least. I mean, having that opportunity, how has that like developed and changed your music, would you say?
So that was one of the big things. And during COVID, it's we had a chance. Like we have a lot of friends in the music industry. We have a lot of songwriters, a lot of producers, and everything else. And sometimes, when everything is going, pretty full, full bore, it's like
Mm,
everyone has their own lives, they have their own schedules. But now that things kind of freed themselves up, it was, people searching for work, or people just wanted to experiment a little more. So it's like
yeah,
when we were just, like everybody else, you're talking online in forums and chats or playing video games or doing whatever we do. It's, hey, let's write a song. Hey, let's work. I have some ideas, or I wanted to work on this, or, I enjoyed this thing that you guys have done. Let's collaborate. And that really allowed us to grow because, sometimes I guess with metal or underground music, when people think or hear about producers or other people coming in to help, they're like, oh, you're not writing your own music, you're taking the easy way out, or yada yada yada. It's like, no, sometimes it takes another person to show you a side of your band that you didn't know existed. It's
yeah,
almost like their interpretation of what you could be or whatever it is. And you don't have to completely go in that direction, but it also says, hey man, if you have an open mind, let me show you what I think you guys could do with this. And then you can kind of run with it from there. So it's like you had mentioned before, Carson and Grant, they're awesome guys. Some other friends of ours like Andrew Bayless, Evan McKeever, um, Lee from Hollow Front. Like
yeah,
we have a lot of people that we were just like, you know what? Let's act like almost this is kind of our last record and like just do whatever we want. We're just gonna work with whoever we want. I still write a ton of songs. Mike still writes a ton of songs, like Tyler, all of us. But it was just, let's not just be confined to this one little thing,
mm,
spread the pot a little bit and just see what comes out of it. And again, it's been fantastic,
yeah.
you know.
It's been a spread of songs. I mean, when you're talking balls to the wall, you went full on with anxiety. I love that song so much. It's probably my favorite one that you've released out of the latest ones. Um, I'm taking that what you were talking about is partly what made you kind of go there. So how did did you decide to go that heavy with that track? What came about of that?
That one was, we just honestly, there really wasn't much thought into it. It was called, I was sitting home one day and, I was kind of in my feelings a little bit. I'm just like, I'm looking online and I see people, you're posting like throwback pictures, or, you go onto YouTube and you're looking at old festivals or,
Yeah.
things like this. And I'm just like, man, I missed that. So it's like, I just told myself, I was like, hey, dude, I'm just gonna write a song that like I can envision myself playing in front of 20, 30,000 people. So it's like, and sometimes there's like a great story behind everything else, or there's like no, in this case, it's called The Next Time That We Play. I want this to be I want to see circle pits. I want to see
Yeah.
mosh. I want to see people singing along. That's all it was. It's
I was
just,
like,
it
that is the
was,
Circle Pit song.
yeah, it just makes you feel good. It makes me pumped. Like when I showed it to everybody else, and like when we recorded that one with Carson and Grant, and I
Mm.
remember we sat down with a few demos. We were going through it, and we played half of that one, and they were like, "Yep, let's go. Don't even
You
have
need
to
to
show
have a
me the other
word
one."
with the guys at Spotify and get that on the Extreme Metal Workout playlist. That's what you need to do.
Yes, there we go. Yes, 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 yes.
Oh,
But yeah, that one,
yeah,
that was a fun one, man.
absolute beast of a track. I love it. So obviously, a lot of the tracks lyrics seem to focus on addiction and mental health at the moment. And I understand like Cannibals from reading about it is mainly to do with Tyler's side of recovery from alcohol and that. But I wanted to ask you how you personally relate to these tracks and those lyrics, and have you got any words of encouragement for obviously people who might be listening or followers of your band?
Absolutely. We all kind of have some shared experiences as far as like the addictive personality side or just alcoholism in general. Myself,
Mhm.
I've been sober since 2007. So however many years that is, have I
Good on you.
made that decision to, put that part of my life behind me, because if I didn't, then, for lack of a better term, you and I, we wouldn't be speaking right now. I probably would not have the life that I have currently, because that thing was destroying everything and anything it could around me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I couldn't control it. And it was just like, you have to, at some point in time, you make a choice, or a choice is going to be made for you. Thankfully, the rest of my guys, we had a pretty big powwow. I think even before we went to go do some of the stuff, I'm just like, how do we get as vulnerable as we can? How do we get as personal? Because while we love our old records and everything else, it's like we almost feel like, looking back at it now, like with a more clear vision, it's like, again, that was one of the things that we missed, where it's like we definitely touched on some things, but it's like
Yeah.
we could have went deeper. We could have talked, like, it's that vulnerability that sometimes even people like musicians, artists, whoever, they just think like, oh, you can just, get up there and show yourself to the world. No, it's not that easy. It still takes a process. It's still hard to do. And the message that I would relay to anybody that, maybe you're dealing with this, or have friends or family or anything else, is it's a one day at a time thing. It's, you have to put in the work. No one else is going to do it for you. There's a thing, people don't like to hear this, but it's like, you have to want to save yourself before somebody else can come help save you.
Yeah.
It's, you know, as long as you're, even if it's one thing, write something down that you may be putting off, or, you know, whatever the case may be. And it's just accomplish that one goal, and then accomplish that same goal the next day, and just keep it moving, keep it going. Because if you stagnate, if you stay still, that can be the worst thing that you can do sometimes, where it's like, because you're in your own head. I'm sure we all deal with that in some way, shape, or form,
Absolutely.
but you know, that's what I would say to people. Just one day at a time. It can and will get better if you move, if you put in the steps, if you do the work that's necessary. Doing nothing is not a solution. It's not an answer to any problem, because all you're going to do is kick the problem down the road, and eventually you do have to face it. So,
Big respect for that. Big respect. Um, Cannibals looks like such a fun video to record. There's a moment where I just see your eyes go, oh God, what is going on, as you get taken down. So explain the experience of filming that. And are you still actually a zombie?
I'm definitely a zombie. I feel like that every single day when I go to work. So I'm like, but that video, man, it was insane because of just everything going on that day. It was,
Mm.
first off, shout out Digital Thunderdome, Scott Hansen and his entire crew. Like, that was like a dream come true, of like, we've watched that dude's videos for years.
Love that.
And then finally being able to, again, one of those things where before it was a pipe dream, but something happened where, we could get into his schedule and go down there to Atlanta, Georgia, and record that video with him. It was an awesome experience. Now, the actual day, man, that was, so where we shot at,
Mhm.
was this little like abandoned house next to the penitentiary, the decommissioned penitentiary that we shot
Oh
Anxiety. So both
wow.
of these
Oh
locations
cool. Okay.
were next to each other, which was sick. The not sick part is, again, you're in the middle of nowhere. It's Georgia summer, spring rain. It was downpouring. Like, I'm talking like,
Oh
you're
wow.
talking like 6 to 8 inches of rain. It's just nonstop. The house didn't have electricity, so you have to run generators. His van got stuck in the mud.
Oh my God.
Like, you know, we couldn't start the video until like 5 in the afternoon, and it's like zombie. Everybody, all the extras, all the crew had been there since like, you know,
That's
10, 11
insane.
in the morning. And we're just like, dude, are we gonna actually shoot this thing, or what's going on here? And it's like, eventually the weather subsided, but what was kind of crazy about it is like, it just made the video that much more gnarly, because
Yeah.
when you're looking through it and you just see like everyone's covered in blood and everything else, but what people don't realize is like, it was so muddy everywhere. It felt like Woodstock. It's like mud's being tracked into the house. We got our clean clothes trashed before we even shot a single frame of what was going on with this video. But at the end of the day, it's like that kind of carnage, that, you know, visceral look of it. It just made everything that much better. Being covered in fake blood for 10 hours was a nightmare, because it's that sticky corn syrup, you
Oh,
know. Oh yeah,
Halloween stuff.
it's yeah. Oh yeah, no, it was. But once we, like I said, once we got the ball rolling, though, it couldn't have been one of the more fun shoots that we've done. Just everybody was having a great time. We're just cracking jokes, and one of the better parts too is like when we're all done with this, there was do you know what Waffle House is by chance?
I've heard of it.
Okay, so it's just like a fast food like diner chain,
Yeah.
mostly in the southern states.
Oh, okay.
But we go in there, and they're usually 24 hours. So we go in there at like 2, 3 in the morning, and everyone is just, it's probably like
Oh God.
10 or 12 of us, just head to toe covered in dirt, fake blood, clothes are ripped. And the cooks and everybody are just like, what is going on here? We talk to them and explain what's going on, and they start having a good time with it.
Oh,
And
man.
yeah, it was fantastic, man. But yeah, that video couldn't have turned out any better. We're so excited for it.
So we need to get everybody dressed up as zombies for the tour that's about to happen.
Oh, yes.
July, you guys are coming to the UK again. I'm so excited. I
Yes.
genuinely can't wait. And you guys are playing Tech Fest as well, which is going to be fantastic for you. So, I mean, what are you guys excited about most? What are you really looking forward to? Apart from obviously seeing me, hopefully.
Oh, absolutely. Just seeing you and seeing all of the friends we have over there, seeing older friends that we've toured with, people that
Yeah.
came out and saw us the last few times that we've been there, making new friends. Honestly, kind of seeing, what the country is like in this current climate, seeing how everybody, is doing, seeing
Mm,
what's going on in all the cities. And then again, it's the shows, it's the energy. Like
yeah.
Tech Fest last time, we had a chance to play the after show, which was one of the biggest shows that we had played. I was very shocked by that. We're on the main lineup now, which is awesome.
Nice. Well deserved.
And then, again, just getting a chance to go back around, drive on the wrong side of the road, almost go down a one way. And oh, dude, it was a night. I remember the first time, I think it was 2017 that we came over there, and like you think that you would get used to it, and then it's like we turned the wrong way into the wrong lane.
Oh God.
So it made sense to us, but it didn't make sense, obviously, by that standard. And you just have somebody just laying on the horn because they're like, get out of the road. And we're like, oh no. Ah.
Oh
But
man.
and then it's food. The food for me, I'm a huge foodie, so it's always,
Yeah.
you know, getting back, getting back to the goodies, you know. Now, I still can't get down with the beans, man. I just
Dude,
can't do it. I can't do it.
shame on you. Beans on
I
toast.
can't.
Loads of cheese
No,
on top. It's where it's at.
that's horrible. That's a terrible idea.
I mix
No.
brown
Now,
sauce with my baked beans.
now I do like the blood pudding. I can mess with that. I
Good
like that.
man. Wait, so you'll eat, so would you eat an English breakfast but bar the baked beans then?
That's what I did every single time.
Absolute shame on you.
I would
So
give them up. I'm like,
disappointed.
I'm like, y'all can have all of this.
I'm launching
Like,
beans at you at the gig.
you know what? I'll take it. I'll accept it. Honestly, and if they're red enough, they might look like zombie stuff. So you could literally make me look like a zombie while I'm playing.
I mean, you're coming up north, so you're going to be getting some absolute treats up here as well. So I'm very excited to see that you guys are on. Have some northern venues on the tour. It's going to be really good. Key Club is gold. Star and Garter, fantastic as well. So yeah, I think that's going to be good.
Awesome.
Some
Oh yeah.
nice
No,
like
we're just,
tight venues.
and that's the thing is like, just get in there. It's been a while, but everybody seems stoked. We're definitely excited. And it's just, again, playing shows, getting back in front of the people that want to see us, and we want to see everybody else. So,
Yeah.
it couldn't be better, man. Couldn't be better.
Right. I always like to, and I know I've technically already asked you for some advice, but every single interview I've started wrapping up with asking for a piece of advice that our listeners can follow every day. So, is there anything that you have to say? It can be literally plucked out the air.
A piece of advice for everyday life. This is probably a very simple one. Drink water.
Love it.
It makes you happy. It makes you a happier person. You know, cut out a lot. Don't eat a lot of sugar if
Mhm.
you can avoid it, pretty much at all costs because of what it can do to your body. It's just drink water. Avoid as much processed sugar as you can. Fruits are great. Just by doing that, drinking, maybe 2-3 liters of water a day, people will notice like their mood change drastically. You'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, I feel clear, I feel fresh. And when you feel clear and fresh, it'll make you want to do other things. And again, that thing that we were talking about of moving forward and bettering yourself and just picking one thing to start with.
Yeah.
It's most people don't drink enough water. So,
True. Oh, there you go. For
yes,
those
sir.
listening, he has a bottle of water.
Always, always.
Fabulous. Right. So before we go, is there anything else that you want to tell me about that you can get away with telling me about, or you just want to say in general?
What I want to say to you personally is thank you for rocking with us, man. It's great seeing you. I'm glad that we had a chance to do this, and everything will work. We're just gonna put that out into the
Yep.
ether.
It's been a pleasure to
You know,
follow you and keep up with what's going on up to
that
this
as
point.
far as, the musical journey, we just had Anxiety, we've had Cannibals come out. We probably have some more other songs coming out very soon, very soon,
Ooh,
very soon.
exciting,
Might
exciting.
be a record of some kind actually, you know, materializing at some point this year. All these songs you're going to hear on the tour. So, like, all I can tell people is sing along, prepare to sing along, learn the words. Otherwise, I'm going to kick you in the face. And that's that. Basic stuff. Follow us on all of our social medias, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. You can follow us personally. We respond to messages. We love talking to people. So we just tell everybody if you ever want to hit us up and just, see how we're
Yeah,
doing or ask us a question, like our inboxes are open. So, keep it simple, man.
that's fantastic for a band as well. That's really good to hear, actually. So yeah, there you go. Big stuff from Damon. The hype is real for a Virtue. Keep listening to these guys. I'll keep them spinning on the show. Make sure you get to the tour in July. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Damon of Virtue, you absolute legend. It's been a pleasure. Short Chris, out.